I would give anything to hear my son's voice again. I would give anything to hear him say, "Mama, I'm home." It's just so hard for me today. Today would have been your 21st birthday. My son Trayvon was murdered in Sanford, Florida. He was visiting his father, who lived at his fiance's house in a gated community. They were watching an NBA All-Star game. My cupcake. I called him that. He enjoyed visiting his father. His cousins lived nearby, and Trayvon and his cousins were like brothers. I was at work when I received a phone call from Tracy, Trayvon's father, saying that he couldn't find Trayvon. My heart sank because I knew it wasn't like him to stay out all night. So I told Tracy, call his cousins, make sure he's not with them. I was so distracted, I couldn't remember my computer password. So I asked my supervisor for permission to leave. It was just past 9 a.m. when Tracy called to say that he still couldn't find Trayvon, and we decided to file a missing persons report. I was driving when he called to say that a police officer had come to his house and had asked to see a photograph of Trayvon. He said when he showed him the picture that the police officer pulled a photograph from a folder. It was Trayvon, lying dead on the ground. I insisted, go look at the body, make sure it's him. I dialed my mother's number, and the words just fell from my mouth. Trayvon has been shot and killed. My eyes were so full of tears that I couldn't see the road in front of you. God, I cried to you for strength. I was so overwhelmed that I pulled over to the side of the road and I prayed to you to help me. For several days, I was unable to bathe, to eat, or to concentrate on anything except for Trayvon. Does Black life matter? Despite the fact that my baby had a cell phone on him with our numbers in it, no one from the police department bothered to call us and tell us that he had been brutally shot and murdered in the neighborhood complex where he lived. When George Zimmerman walked into that courtroom, it was with the presumption of innocence. My son was not afforded such luxury. My son's identity, his character, all called into question by law enforcement, some media, and everyday people in ways that transformed the trial of George Zimmerman into the trial of my son, Trayvon Martin. The trial was not about George Zimmerman, who had an arrest record. It wasn't about George Zimmerman, who had telephoned the Sanford, Florida Police Department some 46 times reporting suspicious activity among black males. The trial was not about George Zimmerman, who was told not to follow my son, but he did. The trial was about George Zimmerman's lawyer portraying my baby as a thug who deserved to die. The trial was not about George Zimmerman, a grown man who chased, followed, and murdered a child. There was an attempt to quell support for my family. The defense tried to have us permanently removed from the courtroom. I wanted to believe that my son's life mattered. I wanted to believe that there would be justice for my son. I miss him every day, and every day I pray for my son who was taken away. He was such a part of me. Why couldn't he let him be? Now he's nothing more than a memory. I'm asking why my son, Lord, why my son? Why my son? Why my son? Please tell me why my son, Lord, why my son? Why my son? Why my son? I can't hold him in my arms, protect him from all harm, or kiss him goodnight, tell him everything's alright. Is there some purpose I can't see that will ease my agony? Tell me, how could they set that man free? I'm asking why my son, Lord, why my son? Why my son? Why my son? Please tell me